This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. And folks, here we are on June the 11th, 2024, and we are celebrating the 45th anniversary of kids that don't know how to behave themselves. Why are we celebrating that? Capers, why are we celebrating that? Yes, we're celebrating 45 years of that, plus rubber ducky, no, excuse me, whales or whatever it is they had in the bathtub and all that good stuff. Folks, we're celebrating 45th anniversary of The Brood, which I have here on Criterion, directed by David Cronenberg, who's done so many wonderful movies. And I have a returning guest, one I'm hoping to meet one of these trips to Toronto. Folks, I give you the absolutely lovely, the very beautiful Cindy Hinds. How do you, Cindy?
Hello, Greg. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for having me on once again. And yes, I know the whole brushing by and sharing of DNA, but not actually meeting, except for this way, is a little strange, isn't it? It really.
Yes, there we are. And here's my Brood shirt. Well, close.
Oh my bubbles! I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Never really considered bubbles looking like a broodling, but hey, maybe we should put that theory to a test someday. I'll
I
have
think the
to.
Trailer Park Boys are technically Brood kids.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, some of my college days may have elicited a few naturally born brood children too, but yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Um,
Yeah, I thought I wear that like, gee, I got some Canadian shirts here. Like I got this, I got Avril Lavigne, I got Chantal Kraviazek. Oh no, if this is Brood, we gotta go with
You got to go with the
Trailer
fun
Park
stuff.
Boys.
Got to go with the fun stuff, right? And I'm shameless because I'm wearing my Blood in the Snow Film Festival t-shirt because it's by far the best Canadian film festival that there is, as far as I'm concerned. I may be a little bit biased, but I'm allowed to be. This year, November 18th to the 24th at the Isabel Bader Theater, as well as the Transact Club. So put that in your calendar, people. Back to the Brood.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've never been to Blood in the Snow, but now Lisa has. Of course,
Yeah.
Lisa Langlois, who I do a lot of the conventions with, and
Well, I think this year might be a year for firsts for you, Greg. I think we should make 2024 the year to get some stuff off your list. Blood in the Snow, us meeting, getting to Toronto, good stuff.
I want to move to Toronto. Yeah, um, I had a job lined up in Toronto, and I got stifled from getting there because of the inflation and whatnot. And it's like,
Yay to COVID. Yeah,
yeah,
that's okay.
and people
Don't give
getting
up
rich.
on that dream.
Yeah, people
Mhm.
getting rich off it.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm citing a certain person in power in the government that I'm going to try not to attack here verbally on this, but still.
Well, as a professional realtor, I'm trying to do my part to straighten things out as much as I can with my little tidbits as far as investments or rents or purchase prices and all that kind of stuff, because the real estate market is out to lunch and far too many people are suffering because of it. So,
Yep.
but anyways, we don't need to get into that. The children are getting restless.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes. Yeah. How do you feel? 45 years of the Brood and you being only 39.
I know. I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but the way they were conceived, we do not know. So out of angst comes interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's mind-blowing. A decade ago when it was 35 years, I couldn't believe it. I don't even know where the last decade's gone. Oh my God, but I've come out on the other side, so that's good. But it's mind-boggling and it's so humbling the fan base that it still has and the attention that it draws. And yes, without a doubt, Cronenberg deserves all the kudos. It's his masterpiece, but it's very moving to see how one story can affect so many people for so many years.
Oh yeah. And he still continues to make great movies. Did you see
Yeah.
Crimes of the Future, last one he made?
I have not yet. No, no, I
Oh,
do
I
look
saw it
forward
a
to it.
couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, and his although we didn't get it here, I guess his daughter made a film.
Yes. Yeah. Humane. Absolutely. And
Yeah, and we
made
didn't
their
get it here.
festival rounds and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and we didn't get it here, of course, you know.
It'll
Um,
come. Don't you worry. And it'll be worth the watch. Absolutely.
you
Fun,
seen it?
really fun movie. I haven't seen the thing in its entirety. Um, I can't wait to actually be able to sit down undisturbed. That's the
Yeah.
problem. I don't get a lot of time to actually sit with that many children, it's hard.
Hmm.
But to actually sit down and watch it undisturbed, I really look forward to it. It's got some phenomenal talent in it, and the storyline is just, well, yeah, people need to see it.
Yeah.
It's Cronenberg.
I always try to see Cronenberg movies, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had a few people on here from Cronenberg movies. I had you on from The Brood. I've had Stephen Lack on from Scanners.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had him on here a couple times, and he's an artist now. And I've had Lynn Lowry on here, who I met at Horrorama, and I must get a lot of stuff signed by her because she does a lot of these things through the mail when
Yeah,
movies come out, and she'll have a Blu-ray slash poster picture package that she sends out.
exactly. I just spent some time with her just a few weeks ago at Shockstock down in London, and
Hmm.
it's funny because via Horrorama, Shockstock, any of those kind of things, I've run into her a few times, and we've never been formally introduced. We've only ever been introduced by way of being thrown together in photos. So with me not really being in the scene anymore, I'm sure she was like, who the heck is this person? So I finally took the opportunity to explain who I was and why everybody drags me and throws me into her photos all the time. Because I was like, I'm really not a photo bomber. I'm not a stalker. Honest, I'm alumni. It's cool. And so it was really kind of fun after a decade of this going on to finally actually now walk by and go, hey, Lynn, hey, Cindy. I'm like, oh my God, she knows who I am now for sure. But she's a wonderful woman. Oh my gosh, she's so fun. And Jeff Lieberman was there as well, who I've had the opportunity to share some time with. So they are just so beautiful with their fans and so um gracious, that watching them, it was just incredible because I was there for film festivals. I wasn't there as a guest or and I fangirl far too much. I don't tend to be as a guest too often. I enjoy attending um and seeing everybody and meeting everybody as well. So it's kind of fun to walk into these situations and kind of go, hey, hey, it's great.
Yeah, Lynn Lowry I met at the 2018 Horrorama, the second one that I did, and she's a hugger too. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I met her both days because I always get VIP. So
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah, I was the first podcast that Lynn did as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, I get talking to her about Shivers
Yeah.
and
Oh, she's
all
got
that stuff.
so
Shivers.
much work that she has done. I was in awe. She did a panel. So funny. You call me to do a thing and I'm talking about all these other people because I was just so like, oh my God, that's so great. Like dozens and dozens of roles in these films and a lot of horror, which is ironic. And she has the name and the clout behind her to bring it in, but my gosh, is she skilled. I see some of these roles and I'm like, wow, you're so all in and so and what I love is that she stepped back for a number of years and raised her family and stuff and then got back into it and she's having the time of her life, so I'm so happy for her to see that she's enjoying it now and encouraging young filmmakers to get out there and make films and to give her a call. It's fun to see.
Yeah, and she was in Necropolis Legion too, which
Yes,
Chris
it's
Alexander
Alexander,
movies.
that's right, and
Yeah.
Allie, yeah, that's
Oh
right,
yeah.
absolutely.
Lovely alley.
Beautiful
Yeah.
Allie, yep.
Yeah. Tia Munster. I
Yeah,
met Tia Munster. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I like all of them. Now you mentioned Jeff Lieberman. You talked about the director of Just Before Dawn.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a bit of an issue with him. I tend to remember when I feel that I reached out to him to have him on the show,
Mhm.
and I got a response from him. I've gotten this before and I never appreciate it because it feels like I'm being judged. Um he says to me yeah, first he asked me what my following's like, which I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to make status with other
Right.
YouTubers, you know.
Yes, yes.
Um, but and number two, he come back at me and I guess he had looked at my YouTube and he says, within the last 10 videos, only one had this many views or whatever, And he said that he had done uh, um, a radio show in New York and so many more views and this and that. And I'm sitting here thinking, not that number one, I just did Chiller and I met 22 of the guests, which was way over my budget. But generally, when I go to a con, I meet a lot of people.
Right.
And he just more or less cut himself off any list for me to do a con.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like if I'm not good enough for his presence
yeah,
to promote his movies,
yeah.
then maybe he should have the people from the New York radio station show up and get his autograph.
Yeah, and good luck with that one now too, right? That is unfortunate to take that kind of air and to I guess maybe not have enough confidence in yourself that you need somebody else to get the numbers for you because you can't do it on your own. But um I mean, my goodness, that should so not be what it's about, right? Especially this community is truly beautiful, loving community.
Yeah.
And word gets around and things get around and it yeah, just be
Well, I
kind
know
and
that
decent.
Tommy Kovac had mentioned that he, of course, the host of Splat from the past. He had mentioned that Jeff Lieberman had done his show, but he said they never did that with him. And
Maybe you got
so,
him on a bad day.
well, but now, like anytime that he's at a con,
Yeah.
guess where I'm not? Yeah, I work as a cleaner. I mean, I got a message this morning. Uh, go stock up a building that's not regularly not one of the ones I do.
Yeah.
So I get called a lot and I use my money to do the conventions. I like
Yes.
people have asked me, when you do the cons of Lisa, are you compensated? No, I get a job. I
Yeah.
save up my money and I go. I don't
Well, this is a
you
volunteer out of the passion and love.
yeah, I
I
mean,
so appreciate that. That's exactly what I'm about.
yeah, the conventions don't pay me to appear. Like I'm not a
Yeah.
YouTube star,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
and I open my podcast to variety. Like I have my former supervisor from the cleaning company I'm at had we just got into a casual conversation. She asked if she could come on my show. Now I could sit back like a Jeff Lieberman and then say,
Yeah.
what kind of views you have, what
Yeah.
no, I don't. She asked, I had her on.
Yeah.
Who cares if she doesn't have film credits?
That's right.
Because someday I'm going to be lying on my deathbed and I'm going to be like, that was fun. Have my former supervisor come on the show and reminisce about
Absolutely.
cleaning and this and that, and had a blast. I don't generally turn people down. And I don't like looking at people and deciding, well, I don't know who you are, so you can't come in my like, who am I?
That's one of the things I adore about you, Greg, is you are not judgmental, and a lot of people should be a lot less of that before
Well,
you really get to know what's
yeah,
going on with somebody, you know?
so Jeff Lieberman, whether he realizes it or not,
Hmm.
he turned down somebody that generally goes and meets most of the people at the conventions
Yes.
and
Yeah.
goes way out of his way, going way over budget and spending at them,
Hmm.
and it's always autographs from me. So, I mean, I wish him well, but that stood out. I'll give you an example too. I have a book there called the Book of Top 10 Horror List.
Hmm.
The author, Charles Rosny, had reached out to me a few years ago, asked if he could come on my show to promote his new book.
Hmm.
I never heard of him, but my thought wasn't, gee, you can't do my show because I never heard of you. It's that, wow, he asked me. Well, he's been on my show 3 times.
Awesome.
Number two, he connected me with Tara Buckman from Silent Night, Deadly
Wow.
Night
Yeah.
and Cannonball Run, whom I met at Chiller. She gave me a big hug. Was so happy to see me. But you know what? Charles approached me. We split a hotel room at
Wow.
the convention place where it took place.
Okay. That's awesome.
So,
Family,
me,
right?
me turning him down would have been a bad thing.
Yeah.
So,
It's not that way. I don't even, that's not even in you. I know that. I
yeah,
know you, I've known you long enough to know now that
yeah,
you're a good human, Greg. You're a good
yeah,
human.
yeah. But I would have loved to have talked to Jeff Lieberman about his films and whatnot, and maybe I'll find other people from his films, but that rubbed me. And he's not the only one that did that to me as
Yeah.
well. And I tend to remember that, and it's not that I want to be vengeful or anything like that. It's just that, you basically said I wasn't good enough. So I work hard for my money. So I'm like, you're not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I follow that. Lisa Langlois took a chance to not only invite me to Toronto to my first con, she took a
Mhm.
chance to invite me into her life as a friend.
Yes. Yeah.
That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Lisa's one of my favorite people,
Yeah.
and she didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And those are the
so
things and the people that we need to remember and turn
exactly.
to, right? And stop wasting our energy on people that don't deserve it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, I remember when I approached Tony Basil to have on the show. And she asked me a lot of the same questions that Jeff Lieberman did. Somehow I managed to maneuver around it and I had her on the show. And let me tell you, by the end of the interview, she was thanking me for all the great questions I asked,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, like she enjoyed the interview.
Hmm.
So I like to be able to prove people that, you know what, I'm not a waste of time. No, I don't have the numbers of such and such a YouTuber. But you know what? This is not a race. I'm not there to compete against everybody else.
That's
You
right.
know, you know, um,
Your own thing and you'll get to where you're supposed to be.
yeah, I'm good friends with Scotty McCoy, who does Slasher Scotty. I'm
Okay.
good friends with Tommy Kovac,
Yeah.
who does Black. When we throw guest ideas back and forth. By the way, Tommy Kovac says hello.
Hi, Tommy.
Yeah.
I know you're watching.
Oh, he's watching all right.
Yes.
He says, I love her dirty sense of humor.
You and I have to go south. We'll have to go meet him. West.
Yeah, but yeah, we throw ideas back and forth, for
Yeah.
guests and this and that. And it's supposed to be a community, not a competition.
Exactly. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so
Yeah. Help each
that's
other
how.
out, raise each other up.
So I say, God bless Jeff Lieberman. I'm
Yep.
sorry it didn't
We
work
wish
out.
him well.
You know, I don't wish him unwell,
That's right.
but yeah, like yeah. But nonetheless,
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to meeting you though.
Yes, we
We
will
gotta
make
make
that happen.
we gotta make that happen. I'm
Yeah,
hoping to do Frightmare in the Falls this fall,
that'll be
you
great.
know.
It
I
was unfortunate it didn't work out last fall for us to for me to be able to get down to Toronto when you were there, unfortunately. But
I
hopefully
know
this
those
year or next.
whiny brood kids.
Needy, 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 needy.
Yes, those whiny
Oh dear.
brood kids.
Yeah.
I forget. Did you say how much? I imagine you have to go to Costco because it's big bulk, But I mean, how much is left in the diaper aisle whenever you go get stuff for the brood kids?
Well, they have no orifices, so it's all good. Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I just have this
Just
image
all
of
goes
you.
in, nothing comes out.
I just have this image of you walking down the street and you have like, what they have for kids for their it's almost like a leash thing and you've got
They can't
brood,
run.
brood,
Yes.
brood, brood, brood.
Pushing one of those buggies like you see with the daycare with all the kids in them.
Yeah, yeah.
We have one of those little bicycles for like a 10-seater. They're all lined up behind me.
You mean there's only 10 brood kids? It can't be right. Do you ever
Oh, come on now, I'm not that angry.
do you ever go on walks with the brood kids and like come across mailboxes and like look around and like stuff one in there? See if you
Nah.
can give them away.
Oh, I just feel bad for all the people that I think about that really piss me off. Off they go.
There you go. There you go. Oh man. Yeah. But nonetheless, I'm hoping that we could do the cons, but uh yeah, you did Horrorama one of the years before I got there. So
Yes. And
yeah.
then I believe we both attended the same year as just attendees, but not on the same day. So that was so close. So
Yeah.
close.
Who
We might
was
have even been there the same day. But yeah.
was that the year Lynn Lowry was there?
Yes, she was. Yes, that was.
That
Yeah.
was 2018. Yeah, I was
Yes, it
there.
was 18. Yes, it was. Yep.
Yeah, that was 2018. Like Lisa invited me in 2017.
Hmm.
I'll never forget it because number one, I couldn't believe this woman was inviting me to come and assist her
Hmm.
at this event. And it was my first time on a plane, which I really dug. I like Porter Airlines a lot.
Yes. Yeah, nice
Um,
airline.
yeah. And landing in Toronto Island, Billy Bishop. Never been to Pearson, but I've been to Billy Bishop many times. And it's the first time I've seen escalators since the 80s because we don't have them here in Fredericton anymore. But I remember when we used to.
Hmm.
Um, but nonetheless, it's like going on the escalator, going along and getting up top. And I remember calling Lisa and she told me get on the shuttle bus to go to Union Station. She met me at Union Station, which was a uh, beautiful spot.
Yes.
And she kind of walked me through it to give me a little history lesson on the place.
Mhm.
And then we got on a subway. She taught me well on the subway. She taught me well because the first year I went, I helped her. Well, I remember I showed up on a Thursday. I met her on a Friday to help her get her photos and stuff for Horrorama on the weekend, which I did because it gave me a chance, number one, not only to help her out, but also allowed me to see more of Toronto.
Hmm.
And I remember the following year, um, when I landed in Toronto, she drove down and met me there,
Okay.
you know. What's interesting is when I went to the Toronto Comic Con the year after, when I landed, I didn't call her immediately. I got on the subway. Oh, no, no, no. Toronto Comic Con was different. No, no, no. I'm thinking 2019 Horrorama. What happened with Toronto Comic Con was she was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
was
just get around on
considering,
your own.
yeah, I was considering not going to Toronto
Mhm.
Comic Con because it's like, what if I need to call her? What am I going to do? But Lisa convinced me to go. And at some point in that weekend, she called me and she asked how I was doing, and she schooled me well on the subways.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So I know what I'm doing with those now. So we don't have subways here.
Yeah.
So I kind of
It can be a scary experience if you're not familiar with it, for sure. For sure. And especially with the amount of people that going through there. Oh my. Yeah. If you're at all claustrophobic, stay away.
oh, it doesn't bother me.
Oh,
It doesn't
rush
bother
hour is
me.
not fun.
I've had my picture taken with a 10-foot Burmese python, so I'm not afraid of people. You know, not that I'm looking for trouble or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
that I mean, I've never had any issues with people in Toronto.
Hmm.
I hear the stories, but I would like to hope that I would handle situations like that well, but I'm also one that doesn't react well to being bullied either, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere, right? So
I
hopefully we don't run into things like that when we get out there and we're aware and just keep the smile
mhm,
on our faces and people will leave us alone.
yeah. So I've done 4 horror-ramas
Okay.
and I've done 3 Frightmare in the Falls. If I go this fall, it'll be my fourth. And I've done one Toronto Comic Con, and I just did my first convention in the States, Chiller. I did Chiller.
Yeah.
Lisa called me up, said she was doing Chiller. So I was like, okay, going to use my passport for the first time. She helped me get that set up too.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was in Toronto. She helped me get set up with my passport. So, um, which was fine, except when I landed. Here's the thing, when I land in Toronto, I like to just up and go.
Yes.
There, I had to wait over an hour in immigration, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
so
It's so different.
not something I want to
Yeah.
do again.
Yeah. Yeah. That yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's not fun. It's just so pleasant when you're traveling within Canada. As you do the outside, it's a whole different beast.
Yeah. So I remember I got up to meet the guy, and finally he asked me what I was doing in the States, and I said I'm going to Chiller in New Jersey, and he asked what that was, so I explained it to him. He says, "You is this business?" And I said, "Oh, no, no, no. I'm here on my own accord. I'm here assisting one of the talent." And I had to explain to him, no, I'm not making money at this. I'm here on my
Yeah.
own accord. I'm here because I'm friends with one of the talent, you
Yeah.
know? And he looked up Lisa online and said, this person? I said, yeah. Yeah, she's a friend of mine. And he says, so you're not making any money at this? I said, no. And he goes, so you're just here because uh, you're just here for the fun of it. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you're not making any money at it. And I said, sir, um, you know what I did last night? I said, I cleaned 3 buildings. I haven't had any sleep since the night before. I clean. I'm a cleaner. And I use that money to do this fun stuff. And he looks at me and he goes, okay, go through.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure as soon as you said about helping out somebody, they immediately thought you were making coin. They want some of it, right? Yeah.
Well, the people like
Lessons learned, right?
yeah, like
Next time you just say, no, I'm just going to see it, check it out for fun. That's it.
yeah, I mean, I do not use Lisa that way, like um I save my money up, and I go to the events. I usually get
Yeah.
the VIP. And
Yeah.
although it was really cool with Chiller, Eddie Micah, one of the promoters there, when he learned of my because I posted about Lisa on the Facebook page and what fans can expect upon meeting her.
Mhm.
And he put me on the guest list, so I get passed for all 3 days. And I thought that was
Fantastic.
really cool. So,
Fantastic. Yep. Absolutely.
yeah.
That's great.
So, and it's always cool to I'm starting to experience people who I run into who listen to my show. It's an odd feeling, let me tell you. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, and not a bad feeling. Just I'm not used to people like, you're Python, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. He goes, I listen to your show, blah 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 blah, and that's pretty cool. Um, I was in, of course, one point during the weekend. I think I was running an errand for Lisa or whatnot. My phone rings and Lisa's like, Greg, where are you? And I was like, whatever it was I was doing, uh, probably running an errand for her, getting her lunch or something. And she goes, there's somebody here at the table that wants to meet you.
Mhm.
Sure enough, somebody that listened to my show that knew I was going to be there with
Yeah.
Lisa. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I was like, sure.
Yeah.
I'm like the least person you want to meet there, but hey, I'll take it.
Oh, it makes it even that much more fun though.
Yeah, yeah. But normally, Lisa and I'll rent a car to go to Frightmare in the Falls in Niagara Falls. I'll pay for it and she drives. I don't want to drive.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she had place she'd stay down there, a friend of hers, but she can't do that this year because her friend suffered from the same thing my dad had died from, ALS.
Mm.
So she can't stay at that friend's place anymore, which uh I can relate to that because of my father. But so I don't know. I'll have to see what Lisa's doing, but I think I might be doing a road trip down there with fellow
Mhm.
YouTuber, the Creepy Ghoul out of Scarborough,
Awesome.
or as he likes to call it, deepest, darkest Scarborough.
Ah, my old stomping ground,
Yeah,
my birthing ground.
there you go. So I don't know, but they've announced Richard Dreyfuss, Sam Raimi, and Eli Roth right now.
That's a
They're
good lineup.
Yeah, not a bad start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So uh,
And it's my birthday weekend, so it'd be fun.
yeah. Now,
39.
do you drive down or do you get the Brood kids to like lift you up?
Heck
Like,
no, this is a fun weekend for mom. No kids allowed.
no kids allowed? No Brood kids?
No way, Jose. What the kids don't know, don't hurt them.
No? I don't know if anything can hurt them. Speaking of Brood kids, do you ever like try to find ways to keep them distracted? Like I've got an idea. You should get like in your backyard get like a bouncy house for them.
I have lots of little sand piles and I've got a nice beach outside so they can just go
Yeah.
play in the sand and go swimming all the time. But they got to have a lot of sunblock on because they're very fair. So
Yeah.
we gotta be careful they don't get sunburnt and stuff. But I keep them busy.
You could get them a bouncy house. Can you imagine Oliver Reed in the bouncy house?
You probably would. You probably would.
I'm trying to picture that image.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Anyway, how have you been doing? I had you on here last year and we kept in touch.
Yeah. No, things have been good. Same old, you know. Taking it day by day and a little bit of work here, a little bit of film festivals there, a little bit of volunteering over there, and life is good.
I admire your patience and your love you showed to your son Aiden. You
Thank you.
know, I think that's awesome. Um, I couldn't be a parent. I'm lucky I got a cat. That's my, I always tell people, and people say, "Don't you have any kids?" No, I don't have a wife. I got a cat. Solves everything. I come home and he's there to greet me,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Always nice. Always nice.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
where have you been?
Mhm.
It's I'm glad to see you're back. You're back. You know? So yeah, I know I said, get a cat. Cat works, you know?
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
he's a wonderful young man and, makes it easy. A little, it's physically it's demanding, but it's so fun to hang out with him though and have the time with him. And I'm just so proud of my daughter. She's down in Toronto and doing her thing and working hard and living her best life right now. So I'm very blessed at the moment to be in a safe place, be a heck of a lot healthier than I was a few years ago, and just feeling better about things.
your daughter lives in Toronto.
Yes.
I'm envious.
Well, I could send you to school there if you want, and then you can just stay.
Why not? What grade is she in?
Oh, she's done. She's done post-secondary. She's good now. She's been finished for a bit. So money's all gone. Sorry.
Is she rooming with the Brew kids?
No, are you kidding? We got our own safe little place. Locks up her doors and yeah, no, it's
You don't think they would help pay the rent?
yeah, they're lazy. They're
Oh,
lazy and make a mess.
they
They have,
got
they have a
something
way of destroying things.
they got something in common with Skittles then.
They keep smashing through stuff. I got holes everywhere.
There you go. And they keep blaming it on the mice. Yeah, the mice made that 50-foot hole in the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
mice did it.
I have no idea what all that red stuff is. None at all.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. What, not that I'll get personal, but what's your daughter studying to be?
She did arts foundations stuff, so she's very artistic. I mean, she's done some acting, some modeling. She's musically inclined. She can draw. Um, Anything she's going to put her mind to, wherever she's going to end up in the artistic field, she's going to blow it out of the park. So right now she's been doing a lot of volunteering work stewardship with a tree program throughout Toronto. So she's been doing tree planting and she also does tours actually throughout the parks in Toronto and introduces people to the different types of trees that are out there, which is again makes me so proud. The amount of volunteering that she does with community fridges and the markets and things like that, giving back a lot. But right now she's just, deciding what she wants to do with everything that she's learned. She's happy with where she's at in the job that she's working. She's currently at Bar Isabel as one of their bartenders. She's been there for a couple of years now, and Bar Isabel is a phenomenal and very well-known restaurant.
Does she serve the Brew kids?
No, they're not old enough to go in, They don't behave themselves, not quiet enough, and again, needy, right? They just be like, ah, Nikki.
Yeah, you don't want to get them drunk.
But yeah, so it's just watching her do her own thing and then having the fun moments. I believe I shared with you when she was up here in between sessions with school. She did some background work on Hope Calls, and I was able to one day go and hang out on set with her and get dressed up and spend a day. So it's kind of funny. I joke, but it's the truth. You know, it was Lori Loughlin's step back into to television because of
Lori
everything that she went
Loughlin.
through. And she went so Hope Calls, and I'm like, hey, it was my return to TV too.
Lori was
I just did it
beautiful.
quietly. Nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
So I silently did background work on Hope Calls, which was it was so much fun just to have photos of my daughter and I in period pieces because 45 years ago, I've got the same photo of my mother and I when I was on A Gift to Last.
Mhm.
A really great Canadian period piece show that was on. So it's fun. And then just I guess that's how I've been able to stay in touch with some of the stuff as well. Not only did Chris Alexander drag me back in and reintroduce me to the world, uh,
Mhm.
but then my daughter, did a few things, and then I got involved with Blood in the Snow Film Festival and started doing some of these Comic Cons, and it's been nice. So nice having it there, nice memories, nice being able to touch base, beautiful community. It's a huge part of my family now. Um, but it's nice that I don't have to worry too much about it per se. It's just it's out there and it's a joy as opposed to a hindrance or a bother. I'm fortunate, very fortunate.
Are you still in touch with Lori Loughlin? Because I'm sitting here thinking, gee,
Never even met her, was not even on set with her.
the crossover idea. The Brood kids meet the Olsen twins.
Be scarier. I have a feeling the Olsen twins could probably kick their ass.
Probably. Look, if I could survive being part of New York Minute, then I think.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, has your daughter been in anything I might have seen?
Um, well, yeah, probably because Canadian Tire commercial was a national campaign. Actually, Aiden did one as well for the government. But
Oh, really?
Canadian
Wow.
Tire, my gosh, this was about a decade ago. Nikki would have been sitting in the back seat with her brother with wipers in the middle of a snowstorm and slush and thing was being flown at it, and the Canadian Tire goes, "Hey, you got wiper fluid." And so there was Nikki in that one. That was a lot of fun. But she got a principal part in a film called Girl Underground with Henry Thomas. And it was the Elizabeth Shove story about a girl. It was the same time frame as Elizabeth Smart, but Elizabeth
Mhm.
Shove was kidnapped and held in an underground bunker for 10 days and abused, and then finally was able to get away. And they found her. But Nikki was the best friend of this girl. So we were, did that filming, and that was, incredible for me. To meet Henry Thomas because I'm like, okay, I'm
Henry
so meeting you.
Thomas.
So
Elliot from E.T.
yes, he was supposed to be my husband, but things didn't work out because I got out of showbiz and he was from California. So these things happen.
Well, I often say, people ask me if I have a girlfriend. I say, well, Emma Stone. And
Sure.
they say, isn't she married? And I said, that's the beauty of it. You see, the only demand she makes of me is that I go to the movie theater and spend money on her movies. And I'm like, I'm okay with that because she's there to entertain me for a couple hours, you know? And then I leave, I come home. I mean, on the downside, she hasn't got anything cooked for me, but neither does Skittles. But I mean,
Can't have it all. We're not perfect, right?
well, here's the thing, her husband sees all of her bad habits. I see all of her good habits.
That's good. It's good. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
very
that's
inspiring.
that's the best relationship I ever had.
No arguing.
Yeah, no arguing. I
You
mean,
know,
Kinds of Kindness is supposed to come out sometime this month. I'm like, oh yeah, I got
very
a date.
supportive of your independence. What more could you ask?
Yeah, I've got a date with Emma Stone whenever that comes out.
Yeah, that's
And then
great.
it's like, and then afterwards
Love
it's
it.
like, see you in the next one.
Oh, yeah.
How about same relationship with Margot Robbie too, you know?
Oh man,
Who
don't juggle
who
too many of them. It can get complicated.
who went from playing Tanya Harding to Harley Quinn to playing Sharon Tate and
Yeah.
then Barbie. It's like she just keeps getting nicer.
Yeah. Yes, she's got some incredible roles, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that's a perfect relationship, you know?
Yeah.
They entertain me and then I just go home to my kitty.
Oh.
No, but seriously, how did Aiden like being on set for that?
When he did his commercial, it was funny because it was for the government and it was
Hmm.
boring. He was in a few different points of the commercial.
Yeah.
So we had a few different locations for filming as well. So, it was a little bit problematic. They don't always think accessibility, even when they need accessibility, because Aiden was
Hmm.
obviously hired because he was in a wheelchair and he was a child. And there are benefits for families at a certain income with disabled children. So that's what this was about. And yeah, so it wasn't fun because, it was boring to sit around a lot and wait. And then trying to get him into the house was problematic. The doorways weren't very wide. They wanted him
Oh,
to sit up to a dining room table and somebody took his chair and wheeled him in and nailed him against the underside of the, I shouldn't laugh, I'm the mom, I'm allowed to laugh. He was okay. But these little bumps and bangs happen. And even when we went for wardrobe, so he got the part, and then we had to go back down to Toronto. We were living in Barrie at the time, back down to Toronto for wardrobe. They wouldn't just let us bring a bunch of stuff, even though I kept saying, like, are you sure? Are you sure? We get all the way downtown Toronto. There's no way to get Aiden into the building because there's all these steps. So we actually had to have these burly guys lift him into the service elevator and then take the service elevator over the building. It was like, oh my goodness. Got a parking ticket because we were an
oh,
accessible vehicle parked out front, and the parking people, for some reason, I don't know if they missed the pass or what it was, they we were like, oh, it just went from one thing to another with it. But at the end, it was a good experience for him. He, got to say he was, in a commercial. He got to be on the
mhm.
internet because they used him and his image on all of their stuff for a couple of
Well,
years.
that's
So
awesome.
it's given him a nice little bank account with a little bit of money in it that he can use to buy his video games or whatever he wants. And yeah, it was a fun experience for him. It got him out doing something different. Not, I don't know that he's got interest in doing that as a regular thing, just like Nikki, it was fun. We did it, yeah, whatever. But no.
Does Nikki still buy windshield fluid?
Now she jumped the car. She's in Toronto now, so she can just, take the PCC and everything. Yeah.
Does
Doesn't need
she
a vehicle
buy,
now.
did she buy window fluid for the TCC?
She bought her cat. That's what she bought. She bought her cat Sequin. She
Oh,
did. She did. Too funny, but yeah.
that is awesome. You have two children, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Gee,
Yeah,
you have one of each.
I do. I have the
Yes.
millionaire family.
There
Yes.
you go. There you go.
Yes. No, my kid's father and I were very blessed. We have two beautiful, healthy children, Aiden's got the physical disability, but barring that, his health is fantastic, as is Nikki's, so.
Well, the way you describe Aiden, it sounds like he's got a very good spirit.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So fun.
Yeah.
Very funny young man, really beautiful personality and a joy.
There you go. Now your ex, was he involved in the business?
Not at all.
Not
No,
at all. Okay.
no, nothing. Even so when I met my kid's father, I was, newer out of the business per se. It'd only been like, say, a decade that I'd been out of the business. So there was still a little bit of conversation, and he had some friends in the industry. So it was kind of done and around and spoken, but very limited because I wasn't actively doing anything and I was working in a different field altogether. And then when he and I separated and I went out on my own and I got married to another gentleman, I didn't bring it up at all. We were married for years before he even knew that I actually did that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then it was not part of, again, my life with him in any way, shape, or form. And then when I started getting brought into it, I was getting out of my marriage. So I've really been the only one. And then my daughter, with her little bit of stuff, has been the most of it in the last decade.
So he doesn't share custody with the brood kids?
No, no.
You like how I always come back to that.
They're relentless.
It's like that movie Multiplicity with Michael
Yeah.
Keaton, only as a brood
Mhm.
kids. It's like I keep picturing like a closet full of the same color snowsuits.
Let's put it this way. No ex is going to want to take the brood kids from me. Because remember, I'm in control. Yeah, sure. Take them for a weekend. What are you doing?
Yeah, here's the written recommendation from Oliver Reed. It
Yeah.
says,
Hide your knives, hide your little paperweights, hide your cleavers. Just hide.
oh.
Again, nothing going to stop him if she gets pissed.
There you go. There you go. Oh man. I remember last time we talked, you said that you occasionally go around the locations for the brood.
I
When's the
had
last time you've been around the locations?
that was a number of years ago when we did the bus tour with the trip and stuff. It was fun. Now I guess it's kind of a this and that statement too, because if you drive down Avenue Road in Toronto, you pass the school all the time. So I'll frequently pass that, and then you go, they're killing Miss Mayor, they're killing Miss Mayor, do, and I keep going, right? Because I always just remember Elijah running up the hill, they're killing Miss Mayor, they're killing her, they're hurting Miss Mayor. It's funny, great thoughts. But barring that, I don't really get to go and see any of the locations. And then there was studio work and things like that as well. And some of it, I don't even know where the locations were. I was too young to realize, and I was driven everywhere too. So
I felt bad for the teacher, you know, she was a lovely person
Susan
and
Hogan, yes. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And she is a wonderful woman. I had the fortune of working with her a few times on
Mhm.
different things, and she's a phenomenal talent in her own right.
Yeah. I like that location out in the woods there
Yeah.
where Oliver Reed makes a daring quest to go in that place.
Yeah. Yeah, that was done just north of Toronto at an art gallery, basically. And there's an art gallery out there, and there's a an outdoor center, if you will, for people to walk
Hmm.
around and do the trails and things like that. It's a wonderful, beautiful spot that's open to the public, actually. I don't, people don't realize what was filmed there, but yeah, it's a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Oliver Reed, of course, had the reputation of playing mostly a lot of villains, you
Yes.
know, and
Yeah,
here he is in this one has to play something a little different. Now, I hear a lot of funny Oliver Reed stories, and um, but I remember you saying you had a really good working relationship with him.
absolutely. It was funny. I came across some photos, and I'll have to get them up because there's one where, he's got the gun and it's to my side, and we're both very serious looking at each other. And then the next photo, we're both laughing. And I remember that because I remember him saying, and again, you know, are you ticklish? And he's poking me with the gun in my ribs. And I mean, and this is like 1 o'clock in the morning too. We're tired. It was just silly. He was so fun and so thoughtful with the kids. And I've shared the story before about it being the wee hours of the morning, and the kids were tired, and yet he wanted to go. He was done. The last thing he wanted to be doing was filming at this hour with a bunch of crying, upset kids in this kind of a scene as well, because it was a pretty heavy scene. But the kids were so tired, he was literally trying to hold them on to him. They just didn't have the strength to keep jumping on him and hanging on. And it was really quite memorable, for as heavy as that whole entire night was, and the filming and everything else, he made it comfortable and as fun as it could be, with what I worked with him in.
See, I'm thinking merchandise here, you know, you can get the brood kids, you know, put Velcro on their arms and
Oh,
See, I'm coming up with ideas, you know.
you are. You are. Maybe we need to make some animated shorts or something.
There you go.
Reach out to David, see if he's in for it.
Oh, I know that you're still. I've never had Art Hindle on here. I've never met him. Um, but I know you're still in touch with him.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen each other and been able to meet, but I am beyond blessed that I can call him a friend. He and his wife Brooke are beautiful people, and he's always been very supportive of my careers, whether it was real estate or my restaurants. He absolutely adores Aiden. You know, he met Aiden a decade ago when we first got reintroduced with Chris and stuff, and he used to come and visit him and at the hospitals after his surgeries and things. And he's just such a beautiful soul and always such a pleasure to spend time with because the stories and the humor and the, anecdotes. Oh, it's wonderful.
His wife's name's Brooke, and yet he worked with Brooke Adams and
Yes.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Uh, I love that movie. And that little thing where she twirls her eyes in her socket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Brooke was in Dead Zone as well.
Dead Zone.
I
That's
got to work with
right.
her and Anthony Zorba in Dead Zone. They were my two makeup and hair peeps. The three of us were on set together in the trailers getting ready for our scenes and stuff. But she was
Yeah, you
wonderful.
went from Oliver Reed to Christopher Walken.
Yeah, not bad, eh? Not
Yeah,
bad. Well, actually, Jack Palance, you got to throw Jack Palance in there too, because it was Oliver Reed, then Jack Palance, and then Christopher Walken.
there you go.
Yeah.
No, I love Brooke Adams. You know, you don't see her anymore now, but
No, I haven't seen her in anything in a while, but
yeah, but I loved her Invasion of the Body Snatchers
love that film so
and
much.
yeah, and of course, you know, Art Hindle done a lot of films that I really enjoyed, but you know, The Brood and Porky's.
Oh,
I,
funny. But
I've
Black
been
Christmas. Black Christmas is one of my favorite
I was going to get to
horror
Black
classics.
Christmas because
Um,
I have a funny story about that. I might have shared this with you before, but back in 2019 when I was there to attend Horrorama, they had a double screening of White Christmas and Black Christmas.
mhm,
And I called Lisa and I said, "Do you want to attend this? I can get you a ticket." She said, "Not White Christmas, but Black Christmas because it was shot in Toronto." And White Christmas had its attendees, but Black
yeah,
Christmas was packed, you know.
yeah.
And I love Black Christmas. I watch it every Christmas, you know. And but what was interesting is after the movie was over, she called Art Hindle. And I was sitting right by her. We were in a restaurant after the movie, and she had called Art Hindle. She wanted to know if he still had that jacket. And of course,
And he
apparently
said,
he
yes,
still
he
does,
does. Yes,
you
he
know?
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind
So,
you, who knows if Brooks cleaned out the closets in the last couple of years, but yes, he absolutely still, and that jacket's made a lot of appearances.
yeah, did he wear that when he did the appearance with you at Horrorama?
No, but I mean, in films, it was in Face Off, it was in Black Christmas, it was.
Face Off with
He wore,
John Travolta and Nicolas Cage? Is that the Face Off?
no, the hockey one.
See, I don't know
It's
that one.
big thing. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. It's great, great movie. It's a classic Art Hindle film. You should
Okay, I don't know that one.
hockey, all about hockey, the great Canadian sports game.
I know Slapshot.
Slept.
Yeah, I know that one.
That's so funny. But
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, no, it's I've been very fortunate to have worked with a lot of incredible actors in my lifetime.
Any funny David Cronenberg stories that you could think of? You know, because I remember Lynn Lowry shared some a funny one where Cronenberg got injured making Shivers.
Um,
But you got any interesting Cronenberg stories?
Nothing, I think probably because being a kid at the time too, when I was working with them. So, everybody's on a little bit better behaved when there's children around on set. And David was just so concerned with my well-being and making sure that everything was okay for me and I was looked after and I was comfortable. And so my memories are of just kindness and generosity and spoiling me rotten and being fun and just making sure that I was enjoying myself. And nothing serious. Um, I do know, I'd heard about moments when he wasn't happy of something that happened or something that didn't happen, but nothing that I witnessed, nothing ever that makes me go, oh yeah, yeah. No, it's just all great movie or memories of all of them on set.
I hear good things about him. Stephen Lack spoke very highly of him. I guess he's still in touch with him. And Lynn Lowry, of course, spoke highly of him, and
Mm.
trying to think who else from his movies I've interviewed, but who knows? But
He's
oh
sort
yeah,
of
I've interviewed
yeah.
Peter McNeil from Crash, so
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So um yeah, I remember he was under some controversy over Crash. I enjoyed that movie, I gotta admit.
That was the only
Um,
thing I can think is, as I grew up and then I started seeing different movies, like, saw Porky's or saw Crash or, I can, oh my God, Art, what are you doing? Oh my God, David, what are you doing? Oh my God, oh my God. So it was a little weird. Now I go, that's so cool. When I was like 10 to 15, it was a little shocking, some of the stuff. And then it was almost like, wow, yeah, I worked with that guy. Glad I didn't have to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I don't hear a lot about one of your deadline.
Yes. Yeah, that was my feature film after The Brood. I
Hmm.
did it just about a year or so after The Brood. It was recently released again on Blu-ray a few years ago.
That's it.
And the synopsis of it is Stephen Young played my father in it, and
Hmm.
he's a horror movie writer, and he gets writer's block. And at one point, his children, myself and my two brothers in the film, act out one of the scenes. I accidentally get hung, and then throughout the movie, I come back and torment him. But the movie is based on a lot of little vignettes of, his film ideas. So there's a lot of blood, a lot of gore. There's a lot of trauma in it. It's a very heavy subject because, not only do you see myself as a young child being physically hung and not being able to be saved and what the parents go through and how that's just that whole thing. Even I don't even like thinking about that. But then the downward spiral of the father and the mental illness that follows and the addictions and the toxic life and then me haunting throughout. So it's quite a heavy movie, quite a gory movie. It hits a lot of check boxes for a lot of people that would like things. It was not a big box office because it went bankrupt way back in the day. It didn't have enough money to finish production and all that kind of stuff. Where and how it ended up being finalized, I truly have no idea. Would have to get in touch with all those guys and see if anybody would share that information. But
I should see if I
um,
can, yeah, because I was looking at
I'm
your
I'm just
credits here.
I'm glad I've just got copies of it and I can share it with people as something else that I did. It's interesting how in the 70s I became the horror girl. If you had a horror movie, you called Cindy. It was I realize now what an honor it was. David really did bless me with giving me that role. Aiden actually just brought up how much I look like Heather O'Rourke, and I'm like, oh, my love, you've got it backwards. She looked like me. And I think it's that young star. It's heartbreaking of her life and the story. But I do have to giggle and laugh when people go, "You look so much like her," and I'm like, I was the first blonde-haired little here they are kind of girl. It's funny to see how that became a look in horror films, and David Cronenberg is the one that started it, as far as I'm concerned. And it wasn't me. It was David Cronenberg that had that vision, of had that thought, and put it out there, and people grabbed onto it and went, that really works well in scary movies. You know, you get somebody that looks like this little angelic kind of thing that can be capable of this stuff. It's a good combo.
So has Aiden seen Poltergeist?
No, he has seen bits and pieces because Watch Mojo and all that fun stuff that's
Uh-huh.
on. But
Yeah.
no, he will not watch any of that kind of stuff. He's not into that genre of filming. Doesn't like to be scared.
So he
Anything.
won't watch your movies, huh?
No, he doesn't even want to watch Littlest Hobo. Not
I used to
interested.
watch that when I was young.
No, see, you would have seen me in that in a couple episodes on that too.
You were in that. Leslie Donaldson was in that,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've had Leslie on here a couple times and met her. I actually had dinner with her and Lisa in Toronto a few years back. You know,
Great.
wow. Yeah, I remember the Littlest Hobo.
It's still on. My episode was actually on just a few weeks ago. It still cracks me up that that's 40, 42 years ago.
Yeah, my littlest hobo is laying over there curled up asleep. See, I bought a new TV yesterday because my TV comped out on me. I know you like to pour coffee on your TV.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, mine comped out, so mine's not out of the box yet. The box is sitting there and Skittles is like that's the apes in 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's like, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to do my physical yesterday, so I went and did blood work, and then I went to Walmart and couldn't believe it. They had to take a Samsung 40-inch TV on for $350. I was like, gee, that's way cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
That's awesome. That's a good price.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I haven't got to the box yet. I just came up because I work
Baby
overnight.
steps.
Yeah, I work overnight, so it's like I gotta sleep, I gotta sleep. So yeah, sometimes I
Maybe
wonder if the
have a
supervisor.
reveal party.
Well, sometimes I wonder if my supervisors realize I gotta sleep because they call me when something like I called to stock up a place. I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. I didn't tell him when I was gonna be on it.
Hmm.
I have my interview with you, and I will get down there. I make good on what I say,
Yeah.
but be patient because after all, they are getting in touch with me when I'm supposed to be hibernating.
Patience is good.
Yeah. So when are we going to get you on the Trailer Park Boys?
Well, reach out to Bubbles. Let's make that happen.
I think that Trailer Park Boys versus the Broom Kids would be great.
God, so funny. That
What
would
would get,
be so
what
fun.
would,
I mean, I love roles that are just so far outside my realm of normal life. It's
mhm.
great. Anything that can get you right outside of your comfort zone is great. I love it.
Or we can get you on Letter Kenny.
Letter Kenny would be, yeah, that show is something else. That is some pretty damn clever writing. I got to tell you. I mean,
I
Trailer Park,
got
yeah, but Letter Kenny, it's just so Canadian. It's so beautifully Canadian, just like Corner Gas. Like you really gotta just appreciate the true Canadian aspect of it.
Corner Gas. My story about that is when I took my film classes back at the turn of the century, one of the movies that we watched in one of the classes was New Waterford Girl,
Mhm.
and it had Tara Spencer Nairn in it. And I haven't had her on here, but I we have a film festival here called Silver Wave, which I haven't been part of in years, especially since going to Toronto. But one year they're playing a movie called what was the movie called? Tara Spencer Nairn was in it, where she played Rub and Tug. Rub and Tug was the name of the movie, and she was in that, and she made an appearance at the festival. So I walked up and tapped her on the shoulder. She signed my little ticket stub and um, gave me a gave me a hug, and I hope at one point to get her on here. But yeah, that's my corner gas story. I remember Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to promote some stuff like that, because it's amazing to me when I find most of my audience is from the States,
Mm-hmm. So they don't,
and
yeah, they
States or
don't,
India.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
So
missing a lot of really great stuff.
yeah, so I'd like to try to get some Canadian stuff on here whenever I can.
Absolutely, that's fabulous.
Yeah, so and I haven't had anybody from Trailer Park Boys, but I did have Howard Jerome on, who was in SwearNet, the movie,
Yeah.
which holds the Guinness Book of Records, not Wolf of Wall Street. SwearNet, the movie, holds the Guinness Book of Records of having the most F-bombs in a movie, 935. So sorry, United States, Wolf of Wall Street is not the record breaker.
That is
The
funny.
Trailer Park Boys are.
Love it. Absolutely
Yep.
love it.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. So you're gonna do uh Blood in the Snow.
Yes.
What's was Horrorama the last convention you did?
Yes. Um, yeah, it would have been.
Why don't you get asked more? Because I brought your name up to James Ponce from
Yeah,
Frightmare in the Falls.
well, I have been. I just don't always say yes. It's not that I don't get asked to do things. I just don't with the way my life is, it's not always easy for me to get away and attend things. I'm not going to drag Aiden to something for a few days and then again it's full physical care. His father is absolutely phenomenal and he'll be taking him for a week when I hang out with my Blood in the Snow family and get that festival under the way. But outside of that, he's got work and he's got things, and so with all of a sudden, I'm going, okay, here. It doesn't always work so well.
Mm.
So I'm also kind of shy to be sitting on my own at something, and I've even though I've had a lot of people say, go for it, it'd be fun, you'd enjoy it, you've done enough, you've earned your right. I don't know that I feel that way. I still get a little, really, when you ask me to come on your show or, somebody else does, I'm like, me? You want me? But then I look back at everything that I did and go, okay, I see it. But um, I don't know, just the right thing hasn't come along either. I'm interested in maybe doing some producing. I've have some ideas and some thoughts for some screenplays in my head. So I'm always throwing around that kind of stuff. But right now, my passion is in supporting young filmmakers and supporting Blood in the Snow Film Festival. So I want to give that a lot of time and attention and help that continue to grow and support the filmmakers that it does. And then I've started hanging out with a beautiful, beautiful group of people here in North Bay with the Bay of Blood International Film Festival. And just enjoying that. I am very passionate about supporting and helping and seeing other people grow. I'm a mature woman now. I've done my thing. I've had my time.
Are
I
you mature?
so well I pretend in business. Sure. Shh, heck, come
Is
on, I'm
one of
trying to do a
the
sales pitch here.
is one of those
I'm
screenplays you're trying to
adulting today. I'm adulting.
is one of those screenplays that you're trying to get done? Is it one of those ones that called Nikki versus the windshield wiper fluid, the
Yeah,
possessed
no.
windshield wipers fluid? She'll
Oh,
she'll
she'll be
she'll
dumping it all over her parents' heads, going, "Oh yeah, watch this." Actually, it
she,
was
she
really fun filming that commercial because it
yeah.
was filmed in the summertime. And we filmed it at a drive-in theater, and they had the
Oh,
car set up
nice.
and they had all these ice machines. So they'd fill them up with water and they were just blasting with these big hoses, like this big, blasting through the snow and the sleet onto the car. And it was so fun to watch. I was like, I forgot how cool it is to see this kind of stuff done. It's just there's some stuff you can't, you know, film in, and sleet and hail would probably be one of them. So for them to fake it in a parking lot, like it was so fun. And then again, it was a great group of people too. But yeah, no, it's good. But I think she'll want me to leave her alone probably and just say, go ahead, mom, you do your own thing. It's okay. I'm good.
So the Brood, that was natural snow in those scenes, huh?
Boy, was it ever. Oh yeah. That
Well, I
was
figured it
so
was, but when you
really cool.
mention, hoses,
It was
yeah,
the dead of winter when we filmed that movie. It was so freaking cold. Lots of hot chocolate. Yeah, no, it was, we needed those snowsuits. It was specifically filmed and set for that. Yeah, cold, 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 cold. One thing I will never forget is how
you
cold it
still
was.
have one of those snowsuits?
Shh, every once in a while, it fits.
Have you, I was going to ask you if you still had the whale. What was that little thing you had in the bathtub?
Oh, in the back of the little thingy, what the heck was it? I can't remember. All I can remember is that flower. Because I had that big tall flower when I had to look out the window because he was taking the photographs of my back.
Hmm.
Because I can remember being uncomfortable, not about filming and being topless, because again, I was 8 years old. So,
Hmm.
at 8, you as a young girl, you start becoming a little bit more aware. And so I was shy. I wasn't even though I was 5 in the film, I wasn't that young, so I wasn't that uninhibited. But I can remember not worried about anybody in the room seeing my boob because they'd already seen it in the bathtub, but because I was in the window, I was thinking people down on the street could see my boob, and I didn't want people seeing my boob in the window. So I can remember they went, they can't see in Cindy. It's okay. Nobody can see their blonde. You're good. Oh my God. The things that I think about now, but you know what else is funny? It
What?
just shows how much times have changed. If you look at any photograph, original, from when they are coming at me through that door and they've got my pajama shirt, it is up over and I'm fully exposed. My breast, nipple. Anything new now, they've drawn in something to cover that up. So you can't see. And I know, I kept going, why doesn't something doesn't look right here? I was like, oh my God, they've covered up my boob.
It's funny because I never even thought of that because it's like, because like you're a kid,
Yeah.
it's like you're
It,
not really thinking about stuff, or I wouldn't be,
yeah,
but
exactly. But they did, and they do now. And even if you think about what I went through when I did Deadline, you know, um, the nude women that were sex workers that were on set, that were like legitimate dancers and walking around topless, and I'm like accidentally touching things I'm not supposed to be touching as I'm being passed around the room, handed over, like that kind of sequence thing. And I'm just like, how would that even happen now? I don't think so. I don't know that they would allow a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old to be passed around by naked women in a room. Maybe I'm
so,
wrong, but it's so different nowadays, right? Versus, and rightfully so. I know that my mom certainly was, I can remember her being very uncomfortable, but that's how it was. And that's what the scene was. And I was okay with it. It didn't really bother me. I mean, it was weird, but I was okay with it. There was nothing that I didn't think about it afterwards. I wasn't worried about doing it. Um, but yeah, I often do think about, geez, some of the stuff that I did and the situations and the scenes, the cliff that I fell down, in Lilith Hobo, the tarantula crawling up my arm and the snakes and, and Tales of the Haunted, all of that kind of stuff. None of that stuff would be real anymore. So different. So different.
I like snakes. Was that
Yes.
a pet store snake?
Oh no, it was a full on python. It was,
Oh, it
yeah.
was Python.
Yeah,
Nice.
Tales of the Haunted was based on witchcraft and the occult. So there was lots of snakes and tarantulas and rats and different things like that. And
Cuddly furry things.
yeah, yeah. And Jack Palance met his demise in a swampy bog.
There you go. So Deadline is on Blu-ray now?
Yes, yes, it
I
is.
should I should order that. I've never seen the movie.
Here's
Oh, look at that.
front and the back. And this is what most people would recognize from it is the typewriter with the bloody hand.
Well, you'd think the guy would wash his hands
And,
before he does that, you know?
yeah, but Vinegar Syndrome was the one that put this one out a few years ago. My dear friend Andy was kind enough to give me this copy. I found some fun ones over the years. I got a VHS that Carol Pope, Rough Trade. They did
Mm-hmm.
the music for the film. And my mom actually went to school with her when they were young. We didn't end up meeting them or seeing them. But a number of years ago, Carol Pope played in Toronto. So I grabbed myself a ticket to go and see her and took my film and went, hey, can you sign this for me? So yeah, so I got Carol to sign that, which is kind of fun. But yeah,
Did she remember you in it?
no, gosh, no, not at all. I mean, she remembers the film. And
Mm-hmm.
because we joked, they're like, yeah, I don't think we got paid either. It's really, really funny. It's the film that everybody made that everybody thought was going to do so great, and then I'm not sure whatever happened with it. But
I'll have to order a copy
yeah,
of Deadline because I love those early 80s horror films, slasher films and whatnot.
it's got a lot. It really it's got a lot visually, right? So you don't get bored because it snippets in and out too very quickly on different things, which is I'm not necessarily a fan of all the gore and everything in it, but like how busy it is, and it's got some good stuff. If you like that kind of gore, it's got some good stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, well that works. That works. That works. So what else do you got coming up in the future? You
Not much. I'm just like enjoying the summer. Got a little bit of real estate going on. Got the festivals I'm helping out with. Got some ball games. Go Jays go. Life is
I
good.
gotta ask you, what is that little thing you got in the back seat of your vehicle that you take
Oh,
pictures of?
Bobby!
What is
Yeah.
that?
Bobby's our Bay of Blood International Film Festival mascot. So the the Bigfoot or Sasquatch or
Hmm.
all of them, that is the Bay of Blood's mascot. So we've got the feet and we've got the different fun stuff. And Clayton Windat, one of the founders of the festival, found this fun Bobby puppet. So I stole Bobby, took it as mine for a few weeks and had some fun with it. But yeah, the funnest thing was that Sequin really enjoyed. I used just for the fun of it, I put Bobby on my chair and the cat kind of took over and went, oh, my new friend. So every time I try to move it, she'd get very upset, squawk at me, swat at me, grab for it. It was really, really funny. But yeah, so Bobby is just our fun mascot for the Bay of Blood International Film Festival. And me and my silly marketing ways and having some fun. My
What,
my not so adulting.
what does Aiden think of it?
Abe thinks I'm a goofball and thought it was a lot of fun.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Wow. No, I hope to get to meet up with you this year in Toronto.
Awesome.
It's not written in stone for me, Brightman in the Falls. I do want to do it, but well, I'll have to see what happens, and
Absolutely.
whether I
Yeah.
can
We've also got Blood in the Snow Film Festival. You can come and see a whole series of incredible films.
yeah, I get a couple of vacations a year. Of course, with Chiller, I was only away for the weekend, so
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're far away, but not too far away. So that's nice. It's
I
nice.
don't know. I've been wanting to make that move to Toronto, and just everything has gotten in the way. And like I said, I don't want to get political, but I'm not impressed with our government right now, and how inflation is, and that there's no reason why a person can't live comfortably. It's
Yeah.
I thought, I had the job lined up and I could probably still get it if I got moved there. Problem is getting moved there and finding a place that'll let me take Skittles because I'm not leaving Skittles here
Yes.
and just get moved. And it's like I thought it would just be a matter of me finding a place and moving. And nope,
Mm. Well,
nope.
hey,
And
let's
then
put it out there. If anybody's got a place for rent, here's a guy looking.
yeah, well, a place for rent, but like I said, as long as it doesn't cost me my soul.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
'Cause I'm
Exactly.
not giving that up. It belongs to Jesus. But but nonetheless, yeah, it was wonderful having you come on here today and
Thank you for having me
reminisce
again.
and yeah,
Pleasure.
we got yeah, I'm gonna turn 52 next month, so look forward to that. And
Doesn't hurt too bad.
no, but I noticed my body is turning 51 and my body's all falling apart. I had root canal early in the year, and then on January the 10th, I had like little floaties in front of this eye. And I was at work one night and I went to an eye doctor and he said it just comes with age. And I was like, okay. 10 days later, on the 20th, I was at the same job and it was like a curtain over this eye. I was at my brother's earlier in the night and I didn't have that.
Hmm.
And it was like a curtain over about 80% of the vision. So I went to the eye doctor and this is how weird things are. He told me, you're gonna have to go to get retina operation.
Oh,
So I was like, okay. And he says, you're gonna have to go to Halifax. And I was like, okay, I've never been to Halifax. And I gotta say, it's no Toronto. And that's another thing too. If I lived in Toronto, I'd be right there to get this done. It's another reason why I'm so fed up with New Brunswick. I can't get stuff done here.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
nonetheless, he tells me that I gotta go to Halifax. So it's like, he said, you can't drive either. You gotta get somebody to drive you. So I was like, of course. I was like, Skittles? Oh,
Yeah.
Skittles, Skittles' calendar's filled up. He's so busy. So I go to work that night and actually no, I was up all night because I was at work and I get settled into bed the next morning. About 8 o'clock, my phone rings. My eye doctor says, I gotta be in Halifax by 1 o'clock for my operation. I'm like, no. I said, how far away is that? 4.5 hours. Oh, really? Oh, really? You think I'm just gonna just up and go?
Yeah.
It being 8 in the morning right now? He goes, don't you have somebody who can drive you? And I said, well, maybe my brother, but I gotta ask him. He does have a job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than just me affected here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so I told him, I said, let me call my brother and I'll get back to you. So I call Andrew, my younger brother, and he's at work and he gets back to me and I explain the situation. And he said, I can't leave work today, which I really understood.
Hmm.
And I wasn't going to argue with him.
Yeah.
And he said, look, tell them that I can do Friday. So I called him back and he said, okay, we got you scheduled for your consultations Friday. And I said, no,
Gosh.
I go there for consultation and then I do my operation. I'm not doing several trips back and forth. That's 4.5 hours. No,
Yeah.
I say I'm there, consultation, operation, back home. That's the deal. So they got back to me and they said, okay, Monday. That was on Tuesday. I was getting this call. So my brother and I made a road trip out of it, and I compensated him for the time he's going to take off work. And never had an operation like that before. They don't put you under for it,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know.
Put
Felt
something
very
in your eyeball, force it open. Yeah.
yeah, very Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
I remember the hotel we stayed at had a theater attached to it, so I went and saw the Zone of Interest. Went down there and watched the Zone of Interest. Anyway, uh following day or no, well, the day before went to consultation, told me to come the next day, certain time, and went and had the operation done, got the medication I needed. My brother drove me back. And I remember do the medication. Uh had some had those recyclable grocery bags that were empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ended up going in the trash because I threw up in every one of them.
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's not good when medication doesn't sit well. Okay.
Yeah. So nonetheless, we got back and I was told I should take a week off work, but I'm like, if I don't work, I don't get paid. I was to work that night,
Mm. Wow.
but they told me not to lift any more than 20 pounds. And I was
Yes.
like, I can do that. I can do that. So
Yeah.
I went and did that. And then I had the cataract operation about 3 weeks ago or so. And then I got to do the laser thing.
Mhm.
Like I got 20/20 vision in this eye here. I can see you. You're a little hazy, but I can see you. I can see the detail on your shirt and this and
Yeah.
that, um, so I can drive,
Yeah.
but because if I got moved to Toronto, I wouldn't need my car.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
I
Transit is so
love
good.
that element.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Nice expense to not have.
So yeah, that's been my year. I'm like, yeah. So I I hope I don't have any more hiccups this year and get things underway and move on, I don't know if I'll ever get moved to Toronto, but I'm hoping to. I love it there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but I got a friend that lives there in Scarborough, and he describes it as condo unterrible. And I gotta say, like I see his point, but at the same token, I love the big city.
Mhm.
But when people call it concrete lifelessness, well, I've been around the city there with Lisa. I don't consider it concrete lifelessness. I can see where he's coming from,
Yeah.
but
There's
um,
beautiful pockets. There's absolutely beautifully nature-oriented pockets in the city.
yeah, there's parks,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Yep. The waterfront
yeah,
beautiful. There is a lot of nice spots. If you're an outdoors person and you like the nature, you can find it. And it's close. They're all over.
yeah. I remember last time I was there, Lisa and I went to the Toronto Zoo. I finally got to go there. You want me to tell you, back in I think it was 1982, I wrote to the Toronto Zoo.
Did you?
Yeah, it was I think I was at a learning center part because I was a kid with learning disabilities,
Hmm.
and I don't know how it happened, but I ended up writing to the Toronto Zoo, and um, and I remember the name of the woman that responded to it. I don't think she's working there now, but it's funny I remember that. But and they responded. And anyway, I finally got there last year. Lisa and I went and it was interesting, seeing a giraffe for the first time, like right there,
Yeah.
and I got to see the spotted hyenas. They weren't laughing though, they were just kind of gawking around,
Yeah. Yeah.
but boy, the hyenas are bigger than I thought they were. But I'll tell you one thing, I didn't realize how big polar bears were. Those things are
They
huge,
are absolutely very, very
way
big.
bigger than I thought they were,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you know? but you know, I went there and we had a blast at it, you know, and some animals were not out
Hmm.
because we went after Frightmare in the fall, so it was November,
Yeah.
so there's certain animals that were not out, and then, of course there were some animals that were supposed to be out, but I didn't see them, like a friggin' tiger. Where was that hiding, you know?
Yeah, that's the only thing disappointing thing that can be sometimes when you get to the zoo, if the animals aren't very active, if it's too hot or too cold, or you think you're going to see something and then you get there, the exhibit's closed. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like the hippopotamus wasn't out, the white rhinoceros wasn't out, you know. I heard that something to do with Bob Barker, the elephants got pulled from the zoo, and I was kind of like, I would love to have seen the elephants,
Hmm.
but but I had fun there. We saw the orangutans. Lisa tried to talk to the orangutans.
And then
Yeah.
she talked to the monkeys too.
Yeah, we saw monkeys, we saw an olive baboon,
Baboons, yeah.
saw a cheetah. I got a nice picture of a cheetah.
Yeah.
But I finally realized I was able to prove that Skittles is related to the King of Beast because it's sure enough, at Skittles over there curled up, the
Hmm.
lions were doing the same thing.
There you
It's
go.
like, yeah, I see the ancestry going on here. Skittles is royalty,
Oh, that's funny.
lazy.
Hmm.
But I remember them saying we called ahead of time. They said that uh, the capybaras weren't out because it was too cold. And they said the flamingos weren't out because it was too cold.
Yeah.
Apparently, the jaguar had just died, so that wasn't out. But they said the funniest story. They said the moose wasn't out because it was afraid to come out of its enclosure. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well,
Like
you knew it was hunting season.
maybe I don't know,
I
but
don't blame them for wanting to stay inside where it's safe, you know?
you know, so I was lucky to see what I did. We saw the giraffe in an inside enclosure, so seeing that up close was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So saw Komodo dragon,
Hmm.
various snakes, you know. So that was pretty cool. So pretty good time.
Good.
Pretty good time. You know, maybe if it was warmer weather, I'd see more animals. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Have you taken Aiden to the Toronto Zoo?
Yeah, we've especially when I lived in Barrie, being just an hour or so away from the city. So we've done the zoo quite a few times. We had a zoo up near in Elmvale, just north of us as well. African lion safari. It's
I've never been to the African Wild Safari. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've done that a few times. It's a lot of
What's
fun,
it
especially
like?
when you drive. You can drive around in your vehicle, and then all the monkeys and everything come up on top of your vehicle and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Um, it's you got to go when it's not too hot. That's the one thing. I've gone at a few different times, and the one day we went, it was quite hot. The animals are very docile and sleep a lot and everything else. But if you go at the time of years when it's a bit cooler, you get a lot of activity, and it's nice just outside of Hamilton. Um, and then actually down in Niagara Falls, they've got did you get to the butterfly um place in Niagara Falls?
No.
Incredible birds and butterflies everywhere, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
So what animals did you see at the safari?
They have everything. They're just like in the zoo. They have zebras and giraffes and elephants, rhinoceroses, monkeys, birds. It's the same type of thing as
So
the zoo.
so so what
But you can drive
fascinated
around
Aiden?
it though. They've actually got a section where you can drive your vehicle through and see the ostriches and the monkeys and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So what animals fascinated Aiden?
Um, he loves sharks. Actually, he's always been a big fan of sharks.
Sharks. You
Like
know, Lisa's son loves sharks.
that's always been his big thing. And then, other animals, not so
Does
much,
he like Jaws?
you know. He does actually. Yes.
Does he?
Considering he doesn't watch scary horror movies, he has watched the Jaws films. He's watched them with his dad and stepmom and has enjoyed them all. And I guess it's because it's so not, like
Because
some of the
Richard
stuff now.
Dreyfuss is set to be at Frightmare in the Falls.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
just lost the opening victim not too long ago.
Yes.
Yeah, we just lost her. I've interviewed two or three people from Jaws, but
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss, I think, is somebody I wouldn't mind meeting. Yeah, so from Jaws.
Yeah.
But wow, he likes sharks.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's his big fave.
okay, okay. What fascinated you at the zoo?
I'm an elephant girl. I've always been a big fan of elephants. Just love gentle giants, right? I just everything from Dumbo as a little girl being my, because I'm the big underdog person as well. Even to this day, I have figurines and pictures and things like that. But yeah, elephants have always been my animal.
They say that there's enough muscle mass in that trunk that they can pick up a 500-pound piano.
I can believe it. I can believe
Yep,
it.
yep. I've seen some fascinating videos of elephants. Like one where an elephant come to a water hole and it was full of hippos. Elephant made that noise out of its trunk and it waded through. Those hippos parted. They parted, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And saw another video where a crocodile made the mistake of clamping onto an elephant's trunk, and elephant had enough, and he hauled that thing right up
Yes.
on the big mistake on the crocodile's part. Yeah, but elephants are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? It was wonderful having you come on here today. You got a wonderful background there behind you.
Thank you.
Yeah, some
Fun and show a few things for you.
there you go, some brood activity there behind you.
Activity, some books, a few shots from some modeling and different things like that. It's funny, when I dig out the stuff, I forget about all the modeling and all the TV ads and everything pre the brood, because I was working for a solid 5 years before I even did the brood, and I'd done 30, 40 commercials and then all of the print media and the radio ads and things like that. And so it's fun to dig to the bottom of the box that you haven't looked in a decade. Pull out, oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, and I see your horrorama thing there.
Yeah, yeah, got my
Was
horror.
that 2016?
That is, yep.
Yeah, I think Ellen Udy was there that year too, wasn't she?
Uh, yes, yep,
I've interviewed Ellen Udy.
yeah. And Tova was there from The Walking Dead. That was fun. Yep.
I've had Ellen Udy on here.
Yeah.
She actually was one of the Doubtfire Face Challenge participants when I threw that out
That's
there.
great.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness, that was
love
funny.
it. That's great.
I
Yeah.
donated to one of her charities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta get you to do that. You got a sense of humor.
I do.
Yeah.
I know. It's just trying to get stuff done sometimes, right? I know. I know.
I'll
We've talked
donate
about
to
it.
the
We should do
charity of your
something.
choice if you do a Doubtfire Pie in the Face challenge for suicide depression awareness.
I need to I've got a couple people in mind. I need to get that set up for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you can nominate people in the industry.
Yes.
Yeah. Or if you want to, you can just annoy Nikki and throw it out at her.
No, I'll let her do it to me. Yeah, that would she'll be all over that one.
Does she have the blonde hair that you had when
No,
you were young?
no, she went a little bit darker like her dad. Her dad's got really dark hair. Aiden's darker as well, but unlike me, I've never had dye has never touched this hair. This is virgin hair. Someday I
Hmm.
will do something radical with it, but I always let Nikki do whatever she wanted with her hair. So growing up, she had blue hair and pink hair and rainbow hair and all that kind of great stuff. If she wanted to do anything, I'm like, you know what? Go for it. So as I say, she's always been very artistic and very, that way, full of color, full of life. Um, so no, yeah, she's darker than me, but she's not too dark. Maybe
What does she
a
think of
ginger.
your movies? Does she,
I'm sure. I mean, it's not anything that we've really gotten into now that she's a young woman herself. She's gonna be 24 this year. I can't believe that. I
I'm
know
gonna be
she's
52 this
proud.
year. I'm old.
Yeah, I know she's proud and she thinks it's pretty cool, but she's realizing, I think, almost in parallel with me, we are learning together some of the significance of what I did in the past, so we're both kind of going, oh my God, that's so cool. But I want her to be proud of the things that I've done, and I try to hold myself to that, to this day, of anything I do in the future too. I want my kids to be proud of me and not to be embarrassed to be associated with me. So I keep that in mind too, with things that are offered to me or things that come my way. But no, I know she thinks it's pretty cool, but I'm also probably more proud of the fact that she's just proud of me as a woman and as a mother and what I've done with my life and where I've been able to get myself to today.
Do you approach her to get window fluid?
Now she's got no more inside deals. Everything's full price now.
Oh, well, I had to throw that in there. Well, you know what? It was wonderful having you come on here today, and reminisce, and I'm happy
Absolutely.
that we've been able to stay in touch,
Me
and
too.
yeah, I like making these connections and you know, haven't called you a whole lot, but because I don't like to hassle you, like, because I know you get your hands full,
Oh, thank
So,
you. I
but
appreciate that.
yeah, but it's always fun every now and again to chat with you and
Yeah.
catch up and whatnot. So yeah. Any
Thank
special
you.
brood screenings going on this year for this?
Nothing that's planned so far. I mean, we had the one for Canadian Film Day this year in North Bay. We ran the Brood screening and I was there, which was fun. It actually brought back a few old college friends and some people that didn't know I was back in town. So that was kind of a neat experience to have that happen. But barring that, nope, nothing. Just kind of take it one day at a time. And if things come up and people approach me, if I'm available, I'm happy to help out.
How often do you or how often are you in contact with Chris Alexander, Louis Serraz, or Ali Chappell?
Well, Chris and Allie, I mean, by the way, of either social media or just quick little messages, a few times a year. There'll be a little, we're always very supportive of each other's work or events or things that are happening. But then the private messages, absolutely a few times a year. I'm constantly harassing the pair of them to get the boys up here and have some fun for the summer. I mean, because they would. And but yeah, I miss them and they've been so busy. But Chris and I would, try to get together, at least have dinner a couple times a year just to stay in touch and talk about the kids and talk about family and all that kind of stuff. And I miss that, but it's what happens. Everybody gets busy and doing things, and it's hard to make time sometimes.
Lewis will probably have a suspect video thing set up at Frightmare, though. He usually
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
does.
He usually does. Yes. Yeah.
I usually try to buy a movie from him. I usually try to heckle him. Look, 75% off.
Yeah. Yeah. But even, he's even at Shock Stock and everything as well, right? So, or sorry, yeah, Shock Stock in down in London. That's always a big horror convention that happens every year, and that's a wonderful opportunity to meet stars and do the panels and see things. But yeah, they're there as well with that usually.
You know Blood Opera?
Yes, yes, yeah,
Actually, my name is on
yeah.
their C. I actually got their CD over there. My name is on it because I contributed to it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I've had Chris Cooper and I've had Esther on here
yeah,
and I've had Jordan on here,
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've had some fun photo opportunities with them. I've enjoyed my time seeing them too.
I've
Absolutely.
had them on here, but I've had a lot of wonderful times with them.
Yeah.
Let me see, I got that over here. Let me see. So, I got a t-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
but it's locked away there. But yeah, I got the
Oh,
CD.
awesome.
Yeah, my name is in there too. Yeah, so I ha-
No, the guys
I
from
s-
Big Rock are a wonderful, wonderful group of guys.
I
Truly.
leave the weirdest prank call messages on Chris's. One time I left him a prank call while I was at work, and he responds back with a message. He goes, dude, what are you eating? You know, I guess I was crunching on something, and he was trying to figure out what I was eating. It sounds like it might be round. I forget what I was eating, but
Oh,
he
that's
dwelled
funny.
on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Okay.
nonetheless, when you do the cons, is there you know, you met Len Lowry, is there anybody that fascinated you that you met?
Um, no, I think anybody that I meet is fascinating. You know, they've got stories to tell and stories to share, but no, I can't say that there's been anybody that I've been all ooey gooey over, truly. It's also very difficult to see these people and spend time with them when they're there working per se, and you're not. So I don't want to necessarily monopolize time either and talk and stuff. Or if I am there working, then I need to be at my table too. So you don't get to share the time and that. But to be honest, I more enjoy meeting the fans and hearing their stories and what impacts them and the things that they've got out of it than even meeting some of the other stars.
There you go. There you go. Well, hopefully I'll get to meet you when I come to Toronto
Yes,
this year. I'd
absolutely.
like to make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to close this off because I know that you've got your hands full today.
Joe,
Although, yeah, but I tell you one thing, you've got admiration there. I couldn't do what you do, so
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, I couldn't do what you do, but I know because you know, Lisa's a mom as well, so I'm like, yeah, I'm lucky to take care of a cat. I'm lucky to take care of it. Skittles still hasn't taken that TV out of the box.
Yeah,
Thought I would come home and watch
so yeah,
television. It's
yeah.
like Skittles, come on. He said he's gonna get at it any minute. He's been saying that for the since I got that home. Yeah. Come on, Skittles. He has so much energy when I shake that treat bag.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. It's like, where's that energy when it comes to getting the television out? Yeah. Anyway, before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Just state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Absolutely. This is Cindy Hinds, and you are listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Yes, folks, check out Cindy on in The Brood, The Dead Zone, both directed by David Cronenberg, and I'm going to be checking out Deadline.
Fabulous.
Deadline. That's my response to the telemarketers.
Yes.
Deadline. It's like, stop hassling me. Jeepers, my phone rang 18 times here one day. It's like,
Oh.
really? If I don't pick up by the fourth, give it up. Maybe after the 25th, he might. Seriously. Seriously. But anyway, it was wonderful having you on here today, you know, and yeah, hopefully we'll get to connect and that'll be fun. I'll get you to sign this.
I will.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely.
you enjoy the
Samantha
rest of
Egger. Samantha
Yeah.
Japer, we never mentioned her. Wow. Is she
Never got
still active?
never met her.
Never met her.
Well, I should say never met her. Didn't work with her. I met her for a brief moment at the wrap party. That was it. It was just a brief, this was your daughter, this is your mother. Oh, hi, bye. That was about as long as I spent with Samantha Egger.
Rap Party was Flavor Flav there.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, jeepers. Oh, man.
yeah.
Well, you know, I would have been 7 years old when this came out in 1979, so I didn't see it when I was 7 years old. Uh, but this is a great Criterion release, so there we go. Anyway, I bid you a wonderful day and keep keep being that ray of sunshine for Aiden. I know he must love that.
I hope so. I think he does. I think he likes me. I think he likes
Yeah.
me.
And just
I like
remember,
him, so it's good. We get along good,
there we
thankfully.
go.
Yeah.
And for
Okay.
anybody that needs wind shield white wiper fluid, you know,
In Windows, call Nikki.
call Nikki. Nikki will
Or if
tell
you
you
want
got a
something,
Canadian
but
Tire.
even better, if you want something really good to eat and really good to drink, go to Bar Isabel on Queen Street in Toronto.
Bar Isabel, is that where she works?
Or so Queen Street on College Street. My apologies. On College Street.
I know where that is.
Yeah, just down from the Royal Cinema.
Oh, I've been there many times.
Yes.
That's where
They
Lisa and I
do
saw pink
tapas and
flamingos.
they have tapas and it's a wonderful, wonderful establishment. It's very popular.
Oh
Very
wow, I
trendy.
bet I love that theater, the Royal Cinema. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my, that first Horrorama that I was at, Mink Stool was one of the guests,
Mhm.
and they played Pink Flamingos there. Lisa hadn't seen it, so she was in for something. Although strangely enough, when she came out of it, she didn't like the movie, but she came away with like, Mink looks so young in this. Like, yeah, yeah, that came out the year I was born, but she did a Q&A at it and whatnot, and yeah, that was a wow, that's a nice theater.
Yes, yeah,
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 the Royal Cinema. I know exactly where that is. Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. I'll have to stop in there. Get her to make me a yeah, White Russian like
There you
the
go.
Big
That's it.
Lebowski.
Fancy, fancy.
Yeah, that
Well,
happened one time when Lisa and I were out to dinner.
yeah.
She usually has wine, and I said, "What should I have?" And she goes, "You like the movie The Big Lebowski? Why not White Russian?" And I looked at the waitress and said, "Can you do that?" And she goes, "Yeah, I can do that." And I said, "To do the bites."
Love it. That's
There you
great.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Nice.
we go. Make that happen.
That's a good note to end on. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, God bless you. You have yourself a wonderful day,
You too.
and
God bless you.
take the brood kids out for a run
Yeah,
in the park. Throw the
getting
stick
nice
to
out
them.
there. Sun's coming out and it's not too hot, so today will be a good day to go play.
Throw the stick to them and see if they bring it back.
Yeah. Well, you have a good afternoon and we'll talk again soon.
Get one of those little pointer things, laser pointers. See if the brood kids will run after it.
Oh,
Look at all the ideas I'm coming up with.
you got a lot of them.
There you go. God bless you. You have a wonderful day.
We'll talk soon. Bye,
Yeah.
Greg.
Bye bye.